Here we have a pre-owned 2011 Mazda CX-9 with all-wheel drive. Now this particular CX-9 comes in crystal white pearl mica, and then we have the sandcloth interior. And the powertrain on the CX-9 consists of a 273 horsepower, 3.7 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine. That's mated with a 6-speed automatic transmission. And then this particular CX-9 does have just a little under 99,000 miles. But as I come around to the front end here, I believe these are the xenon headlamps, the high intensity discharge ones. Great look in my opinion. I love having those lights. But the front end's held up pretty nicely. Not a lot of road rash here, just a few spots with a pearl white where the paint kind of chipped a little bit, but for the most part you really can't tell. It's in very good shape. Just have a few nicks and scratches throughout, but not necessarily due to the paint. And then down to these wheels here, these are 18-inch aluminum. And then we'll open the door here. Power door lock controls are here. We have power mirror controls. You can pick a side or offset it there and then use the dial. And then we have one-touch automatic up and down for the driver's side. And then this actually didn't want to work because I had to jump the battery off where somebody had left it running. But after it got its juice back, it was working just fine. So that's pretty nice. And the rest of them are just power windows, just regular ones. But rear window lock is there. I will say this door, the hinges are pretty much, they don't do anything, so it just kind of swings out. But other than that, it's held up pretty well. Bottle holder there. Traction control. I don't know what this button does. And then that's the hood release. Foot pedal brake for the parking brake. Then we have a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. You just pull that latch there to release it. And there is our driver's seat. That's all manual. Few spots in the cloth, but for the most part, it's holding up. There's a release for the gas cap. Now to the second row, the latch underneath here is pretty much busted, so I can't really test out the second row room. We do have the seat back pockets on both sides, and those seem to have gotten a little wear there. But I can still lean the seat forward and that'll slide. So I'm gonna see if I can get back here. So I mean, with the seat up, not bad. I don't have any headroom back here, but I mean, I could sit back here if I wanted to, being 6'3". There's plenty of storage with the bottle holders there. So I don't know what that got stuck on. Let's see if I can get out of here. And maybe if I hold it, I can, well, no. Yeah, it's as far back as it'll go with that being busted, but I'll try to compare the leg room on the passenger side. There's the gas cap there. To the back end here, I like that we have the dual exhaust. Pretty much a solid competitor for the Ford Edge. That's what this reminds me of the most. And then here's the space behind the third row. And then you can also fold that third row flat if you want. And then on the sides here, little pocket. And then there's a 12-volt back there as well. And I'm wondering what this backup camera was doing. Or how you even get that to come on, because that's definitely aftermarket. Oh, but another big plus is this does have the roof rack rails if you want to put a rack on it eventually. Now I'm going to scoot this seat all the way back. We're going to test out this room. These are about the same distance back. So not terrible. My knees are touching the back of the seat, but it's all right. We do have the rear AC controls here, which is nice. You can set those to auto, adjust temperature, fan direction, fan speed, cut the whole system off. And then we could probably hang a metal hanger on that hook there. You can't really fit a plastic one. It's a little too narrow. The there's a view of the front from back here. Now I will say with this CX-9, there are several spots where it does show its age. There are the places I've touched on already, and then I'll show you a big one here in a minute. But there's the front passenger seat there. You have a lockable glove compartment. That's a decent size. But as we come around to the front end, lift this latch, and then you have to hold it up with that. But there, it's mostly covered up. There's a 3.7 liter V6 under there. And now we're gonna take a quick look from the driver's seat. Sorry if the wind noise is protruding there, but so I have the seat back quite a bit, and the big reason for that is this here will not stick up, so it's intruding my field of vision. It's also hitting me in the head when I get in my natural driving position, but that's probably my biggest issue right now. There's the horn, and then over here, hazards are there. If you look closely, let me turn this off so it's not in there in the way, but you kind of have to zoom in here to see it through the camera, but that's where you can see all of your AC controls, the radio, all of that there. But we're gonna just shy away from that for now. It's hard to see. But volume controls are here, and you can click to turn the power on or off. You have satellite radio availability, AM, FM, a CD drive, and you also have an aux input. So this is a CD changer, so you can load different CDs into different spots. And then these are also presets for your radio when you're in that mode. And then you can click this here to go through like your bass. You can adjust all of that. And again, it's just hard to see that on the screen there, but that's how you can adjust that. And this is a tune knob here. But down here we have the dual zone automatic climate controls, and to turn the auto on, you click there. Very quick to get the fan going, as you could hear, and then to turn it off you have to adjust the fan speed. But you can turn the dual mode on or off, and then you can just turn it on by adjusting the temperature there. And then you can turn the rear on or off from up front here, and then click this and you can see the outside temperature on the right side of that screen up there that, again, we can't pull up. But we can go through our fan directions here. And then for the shifter, just hit the brake, pull, reverse, neutral, drive, and then manual mode. You can do that there. I don't know what that just did. That was weird. Yeah, so it's doing some weird clunking thing when I put it in the drive, so I'm gonna have that looked at. But bottle holders are here. There's a 12 volt there. And then center console cubby space, you have an aux input, and then there's a 12 volt in there. Somebody left their charger in. But there's a view of the back from up here. And then over here, we can turn these lights on or off. I feel like something's missing up there, but I could be wrong. And then sunglasses holders there. And for the vanity mirror, that light's supposed to come on. That doesn't seem to be working. But to the steering wheel, voice recognition buttons there, Bluetooth controls. You can use this mode button to go through your radio station favorites, AM, FM, then you have an FM2, and then you can go through your presets or track list, whatever mode you're in there, and then volume controls there. And then for cruise, you can turn that on or off, adjust speed, resume, cancel. Blinkers here, headlamp controls, off, on. And then over here, we have our windshield wiper controls. So one time, and then off, intermittent, low, high. We can adjust the intermittent here. And then we have the rear wiper here, intermittent on. Pull either way for the rear wiper fluid, and then pull up for the front wiper fluid. And then trip meter can be adjusted right there. If I click that, I can go between A or B. And then there is the key fob, and we do have a turnkey ignition there. But now to what I'm interested in. Let's go ahead and take this 2011 Mazda CX-9 all-wheel drive out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the CX-9 here, the V6 is, it's all right. I'm gonna put my foot into it coming out of this corner to see how powerful it really is. But as of now, I mean, it's getting the job done. I'm gonna lean the seat back a little bit so y'all can see over the sun visor. So that is quite a bit better. I did have my foot to the floor, but the all-wheel drive system is still functioning properly. Got a little wheel spin there. It's pretty fun. The brakes on this are not the best. I don't know if that's due to wear and tear or what, but now I will say it doesn't necessarily know when it wants to shift. So I don't know if these transmissions are known for having issues or not, but it has a shutter right now. Let's put it in the manual mode, see what it does. So shifting up isn't a big deal, but downshifting, it does give me a little feedback there. We have the cruise on now. And the ride quality, pretty good actually. Very solid ride coming down the interstate here, smooth but still controlled. I don't feel like the steering is too light or too tight. I'm smelling something in here though. I don't know if that was the vehicle I passed or if this thing is stinking, but I'm gonna put in a regular drive now. Now again, the brake pedal there's definitely something going on there. I don't know if a caliper's sticking, if the rotors need to be replaced, the pads are low or what, but something needs to be done with that. But I will say this is priced at Chevrolet, Buick, GMC of Murfreesboro. I think it's under $10,000, so definitely inexpensive. And for it to have less than 100,000 miles, it's just a few maintenance things I think that shouldn't be super expensive. And you really don't have to fix it if you just need cheap transportation, but it's something that I would have fixed. But I am nitpicky about my cars. But I do think one thing I don't like is having a manual seat, especially for that second row. I don't know why that's already broken. It might just be disconnected, be an easy fix, but for the driver's side, especially in a larger SUV, I would expect a power driver's seat. And I am gonna, when I stop this, I'm gonna have the service department take a look at this CX-9 because the transmission is definitely, I don't know if that's a transmission or engine or what, but it's doing something it's not supposed to. Not really affecting the driving right now, but I just don't want it to get any worse. But in terms of competition, I mean, like I said earlier, the Ford Edge was this pretty much reminds me of a Ford Edge in 2011. Wasn't really a lot of competition yet compared to what there is now in terms of just a larger SUV that isn't a Tahoe size or the size of a CR-V RAV4. It's kind of right there in the middle. These were kind of meant to look cool, I think, but you could still hold 7 people in it. And this CX-9 in particular is just a cheap option because you didn't have leather. This one, I don't know where that backup camera is, but previous owner might have taken it out and just left the camera lens. But again, all in all, good cheap transportation. It just, this one in particular needs a little work. I think Mazdas have come a long way with reliability and just being the people's car in recent years. But I mean, this one still has life in it. It just has a few things that, like I said, I would have done to make sure that it's perfect and could last me for years to come. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2011 Mazda CX-9 with all-wheel drive.